Good morning, everybody. You will get a coffee break, but you need to stay awake, and because we have really important things to talk about. And we have a fantastic panel. We have some people joining us later. I have a statement I can read. One of our, Ramona Siqueira, is unable to join us. She had an emergency, but we have a lot to talk about. So I wanted to start off this panel about diversity and say that the lack of diversity in trials is not a new problem. So we have 4 panelists, Dr. Ramona Siqueira, the president of Takeda Pharmaceuticals, and the incoming board chair of PhRMA, the Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacturers of America, has had an emergency and is unable to join us, but has sent me some of the comments that she wanted to make. She, by the way, is the first woman in pharma's history to be the board chair, and she currently serves as the president of Takeda Pharmaceuticals. We're also joined by Dr. Michael Drake, who's the president of the University of California and a long-term colleague and friend. He was on the UCSF faculty in ophthalmology and then went on to become the chancellor at Irvine, the president of Ohio State, and we are so fortunate to have him as the president of UC, and a physician himself and an academic leader, outspoken and will pull no punches. He is in a position to discuss why this problem has persisted, who we're training and why it matters, and what institutions can do about it. Ricky Fairley, to his left, founder and CEO of Touch, the Black Breast Cancer Alliance. She has founded and is pushing a communication strategy when we trial that all of us should be joining her on to explain why we need clinical trials and why Black women in particular need to be part of this movement. She's just an amazing advocate. She's a triple-negative breast cancer survivor working on demystifying trials for Black women. If you haven't met her, you have a rare treat. She's fierce and effective, and she is making a difference. We are also very fortunate to have Dr. Sohail Rao. He is the Executive Vice President for Research and Leadership Development and the founding CEO of DHR Health Institute for Research and Development, Doctors Hospital Renaissance. He's going to explain, this is a large hospital at a border town in Texas, Edinburgh, Texas, and has been remarkably successful in recruiting patients to trials. Their population is 90% Hispanic and 80% underserved. But they have made research a priority. We're going to learn how that happened and why that matters. And then finally, in about 10 minutes, we're going to be joined by Congresswoman Anna Eshoo, who is the chair of the Healthcare Subcommittee under Appropriations, very powerful position, or at least she was until the things change, so she will be the ranking member, she'll be the ranking member, but has successfully introduced the legislation that will make it impossible for people to fail to be transparent about who they're accruing. And hopefully we'll talk about the Clinical Trial Coverage Act, making sure that gets through in this next contentious Congress. Okay, so and Congresswoman Eshoo, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to go to Sohail, and then we're going to go to you next. Okay, Sohail, what do you think has been responsible for the persistence of this problem? And then in our second question, we're going to talk about how people are going about change. Go ahead, Sohail.
Good morning. My apologies for not being there in person. Mother Nature had different ideas. But thank you, Laura, for inviting me to this particular meeting. Let me put this in context of who we are and where we are headed. About 20 years ago, so we are basically serving the border town in the deeper part of South Texas, which is called the South Pole of United States. We have a population of about 2 million that we actually serve. About 20 years ago, the physicians in this particular area decided that they actually want to change the delivery of healthcare, which was largely supported at that time and delivered by corporate hospitals. So they put together a physician-owned hospital, which is now the largest physician-owned hospital in the United States, in one of the counties, the Hidalgo County in Edinburgh. And about 6 or 7 years ago, they came to this idea that without research, this particular hospital's mission is not going to be fulfilled. It's a level 1 trauma center. It has comprehensive stroke program. It's the only solid organ transplant program in the south of Texas, south of San Antonio. So they actually invited me to set up this non-for-profit research institute. When I joined in 2019, we were actually doing 11 studies, most of which were quality studies, retrospective QI interventions. We are today, I just closed 2022 with a little over 290 studies funded by the NIH, by the federal agency, you name any pharmaceutical company out there or CRO. We have master agreement and affiliations with them. This is a very unique region. And so this all happened in the last 4 years. When I joined, we were 4 people, including myself. We are now close to 50 people in the Research Institute. And it's all because of the strong partnership that this particular institute has built with DHR and also with the state, I must say. The state is extremely supportive of some of the work that we are doing in this part of the country. Now, this is a very unique region and a unique population. As Laura said, this is a border town. It has got a population that we serve of over 2 million people, which in reality is not a small population. It's actually more than combined North and South Dakota, if you may just put something in context. It's also one of the fastest growing communities in the United States. It has a very poor access to medical care. There are a number of rural areas. It's a very high incidence of underinsured or uninsured people. The poverty levels are very high. And because of all the things that I have just mentioned, and also, by the way, somebody mentioned the educational level. I think it was the previous speaker, but the level of education is also something to be desired. The chronic diseases, any chronic disease that you can think of is in double digits.